Good day for the viewers of SwetchaTV. Today I am going to introduce a special guest. She is from the university from which so many prominent leaders, progressive leaders emerged, that is Jawaharlal Nehru University. And she is from the land of reformers, writers, famous politicians. So that is West Bengal. She is none other than Aishe Ghosh, President, Jawaharlal Nehru University students. She came to Khammam. She has so many programs. We took the opportunity to meet her and to introduce to you also. So welcome to SwetchaTV studio and welcome to Khammam and welcome to Telangana. Miss Aishe Ghosh, we need a small introduction of your family and the studies.
So currently I am doing my research program from School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. And if I go to the background of mine, so I am born and brought up in West Bengal. I was born in city of Bardhaman and I was brought up in the city of Durgapur, from which I hail from. And my father was working in Durgapur in Damodar Valley Corporation. He was an employee there. And post that, I did my schooling from Durgapur, but I did my graduation from Delhi University in Bachelor's in Political Science, and then I went forward to do my Master's from Jawaharlal Nehru University. I completed my MPhil recently in International Relations also from School of International Studies, and I'm continuing with my PhD work.
Okay, thank you. What is your inspiration to enter into the student politics?
Inspiration, as say, it's not that there is something very specifically one single thing that inspired me to just start my activism with SFI or student activism as whole, but the situations and conditions which was there in the university, in Jawaharlal Nehru University, how the environment was, which taught that if you have to do something good for the student community, if you have to do something which is going to progress and help the student community in a very positive direction, it has to be organized collective effort of student politics, which can actually change. And one good thing that very positively contributed to my thinking was politics was something about making a choice, what kind of policies can be made in this country or in the society which can change people's life, and I felt that student activism was a part of it.
Okay, so you are looking so lean. So did you face any bad threats throughout your journey, so up to this journey?
Yeah, of course, being part of student movement, and the kind of attacks that has been increasing. I wouldn't say that only the attacks have increased in the last 4 or 5 years, but we have always seen when student politics has been there, organized student movements have there, time and again student movements have faced threat. And I, not only individually, because of the politics that we represent, what is the movement that we represent, while a huge movement against fee hike was going on in Jawaharlal Nehru University, we, some students individually and also me, had to face a certain attack, physical attack from the some goons which entered our university at that moment, because we were wanting a public like funded education system, and we were against privatization of education which was going to happen to our university. So that kind of threat we have faced, and the other kind of threats that I think so every student at this moment who are standing up against this goon culture or standing up against the wrongdoings inside the society are facing, calling them out or kind of threats over social media. I think so that is very common to all.
Okay, so you contested from Jamuria constituency for assembly, I think West Bengal assembly. So whatever the result may be, so what was your experience at the time when you were campaigning and the support you got from the people that I want to share?
The support was immense. The support was huge, even though we could not succeed winning the assembly seat, but the kind of experiences that individually I as a candidate and we as people who were working on the ground there had was immense. Talking to people, trying to know their issues, and also especially coming out of university activism to ground and actually knowing what people's issues are was very, very important. I was just 26 when I was contesting. It was quite a new platform for me, because I have been doing student activism but not have been associated with some kind of ground level activism where all kind of society community is involved. So that was a huge experience, and also to know that even 75 years down the lane in this country, people's issue remains the basic things of house, water, sanitation, basic food, employment and education. So that is something which we understood, that people's issue are very centric to the basic things that we talk about in everyday lives, and that is the experience, and also the experience that how policies are being driven at this moment through muscle money at the basic core, despite the fact that people are trying to put forward their agendas and issues, somewhere that is going behind, and how corporate nexus are becoming stronger in the democratic space of Indian assembly elections or the national elections is something very visible at the ground.
Do you feel that you inspired the youth there in West Bengal?
It's not only that inspiration happens from one way. I felt that there was a lot of inspiration also to be gotten from the constituency there itself, because as much as inspiration we can be for the people were also the kind of struggles they are leading, the everyday struggles that the people for livelihoods that they're leading, that is an inspiration for a lot of students like us who are going to universities and who are trying to understand what people's issues are. And it will be a huge thing in the coming days if student youth from this background and ideology can go back and contribute back to the society that we came from.
Okay. So we are worried about the youth in West Bengal. So what is their position now?
See, the point is the society at this moment is quite polarized in a way. The one of the major factors that's affecting the youth in the context of West Bengal, if we see, is employment issues. The youth have been continuously protesting there for the employment issues, and a majority of the section have been migrating,
Okay.
which we can see as a forceful migration because they don't have a space of healthy job sector.
Okay.
And in the last 10 years also, despite the fact that the state government under the TMC tried to portray that it would be bringing some kind of new development and all, it couldn't. It has failed the youth's aspiration. Secondly, in the education sector also, we are seeing continuous privatization happening and the government funding education deteriorating, which also is also leading people's choices, youth choices to go towards, those who have money are going towards privatized schooling, colleges and all. So this is a sort of concern. This is a concern that we are continuously seeing. The kind of corruption that is increasing in education sector is a very important concern in the context of Bengal, and what needs to be done is at this moment on a very urgent issue is to fill up the vacancies that has been there, lying down government vacancies, which can at least address some percentage of the employment issues, and then later go on for more generation of employment in all the sectors.
Okay. So it is about the employment.
Yes, yes.
I am asking about the outlook of the youth.
See, the point
Are
is,
they going towards the progressive ideology or returning back to the
no, there
right
is
wing?
a section of the youth, there is a youth section of the youth who are not wanting to subscribe to the right-wing ideology or the extreme ideologies that are being at play at this moment inside this society. In Bengal, if we see, even at this moment, if a lot of forces, corporate forces or this nexus of the right-wing would have been defeated, it's because of a youth which is rational, a youth which thinks, a youth which knows what they want in the society and doesn't want to be dictated. So that's a positive side. It is all of us who can actually make sure that this youth is brought more into the progressive fold and channelized in a way that this youth actually contributes also to the political conscience building, because it's one thing to be progressive in an individual space, and it's other thing to make that progressive space utilized for building up progressive consciousness within the society. So that is happening, and it would take some time.
Okay. So it's a different question. So you are from SFI. Study and struggle are a motto or a slogan, you can say. Are you interested in books?
Yeah, of course. Like for our research work also, we are having to read books. Other than that, I like reading or keeping up to the texts that are there generally found around literary texts, which also subscribe to the ideology that we belong to, or something which the student community should be reading at this moment, and also fiction, non-fiction, everything.
Okay. So can you name one or two books which inspired you?
Yeah, I was recently reading Gramsci's Antonio Gramsci's writings, and also recently I bought a book on Sabrimala, which was published by the Left Word.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know the history, because I'm not from Kerala. I've heard a lot of debates about Sabrimala. So I just recently got the book, so I've been reading through that. And of course, because of our research work, we also have to read through those.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
One more thing. So can you suggest any books for the youth of Telangana?
I think there's a lot of books that the youth should be reading. I think so. The writings of Bhagat Singh is something very relevant and very important to understand the context. Very similar things happening during these times that has been happening in historically, we see. The writings of every historical figure, because we are in a context where history has been erased. And I think so it's very important for the youth at this moment to read history, to read the figures who have written, like whether it's Rabindranath Tagore, whether it's Mahatma Gandhi, whether it's Nehru, whether it's Maulana Abul Kalam, every historical figure who has contributed to the freedom struggle, everyone who has contributed to the freedom struggle, it is very important. And I think so Telangana, being the land of struggle, Mallu Swarajam, and every other leader who have shown the way that how people struggle, people-centric struggles have happened inside this country. It is very important to go back to them, read them, understand the society through them.
Okay, so we came to the books now. NCERT.
Yeah.
So it is removing some of the syllabus in the books, especially the history. So Mughal history and rational things, Tipu Sultan, some other things. So what do you feel as a student leader?
As a student, first of all, it's very disappointing, because the rationale that has been given that because to reduce the labor, the load, that the students are pressurized enough, and to reduce that load, we are wanting to just decrease the syllabus. But very pick and choose of the syllabus is happening. Like removing chapters on Gandhi's assassination can't be a compromise while reducing the syllabus.
That's the most important thing now.
Like the father of the nation and a person who has been historically important, has contributed to the Indian freedom struggle and the different debates which have been going while shaping this country which stands today. So I think so it's very important for us, whether we be critical of anyone or not, that's not the point. The point is we need to know our history, and somewhere we are not at this point that history has been erased. Again, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, a great freedom fighter, no comparisons, but then he has his contribution to the education system. Then if we see about the Mughal Empire, the structures, the infrastructure that has been there, that can be critical analysis of every era, every civilization, and there should be of every time period of history. But to not know them is something which is very critical, and also which shows that RSS and the present dispensation, the BJP, is somewhere wanting to erase that, because they don't have a history of theirs, because their history has been of that of sidelining with the Britishers, and somewhere they fear that they have to catch the young minds very soon. They feel that if the young minds keep knowing this critical history of ours, that how important our freedom struggle was, how important our freedom fighters are, they will question that what was RSS's contribution, which was none.
So they want to control the question.
Yeah. They want to control young minds. They want to be set for the next maybe 40-50 years, where young minds are being only taught communal, divisive history, communal divisive education, which will help their agenda and not the agenda of the democratic nation.
Okay. So, are you taking any struggles for the employment of the unemployed youth?
At this moment, as a student activist, it is very, very important, first of all, to address the question of the education policy, because that is somewhere also related to the kind of employment generations and the kind of employment this country will be seeing.
Okay.
Obviously, the Youth Federation of ours have been taking up campaigns on employment issues, but as a activist of SFI, it is important that we are talking about employment issues. Our struggle is obviously that at the end of education, everyone must be employed. That is what we say as a slogan, that after education, every youth should be getting employment. But at this moment, the major focus is that what kind of education we are getting, and the kind of education we get is the kind of job sector we will be ending up to. So if our education is not good, if the education is about only making us as labor in the coming days inside this market, job market, where the market is going to control the youth, and the youth will not have a say inside the market that what kind of job or job environment they want, then it's going to be difficult, the kind of employment we'll be having.
Okay. The final question. So, any suggestions for the youth of Telangana?
For the youth of Telangana,
Youth of country, you can say.
yeah, youth of Telangana, youth of country, the only suggestion is at this moment is to read our past, very important, understand our past, why certain things happened, why it was necessary for things to happen, and please don't believe in something that just people say. Read yourself, read, think, and then believe. Because at this moment, the major attack is on our minds, our critical thinking, which generally any human being has. That need not be taught. A child, when we see a child will have a tendency of questioning. Somewhere that is being stopped at this moment. I think so that is very important. Let's question, let's read more and more, and have our own ideas about our society and how we can make sure that we can build a better society, because the youth comprises a huge section in this country, and we believe that the youth can really bring very positive changes inside the society.
Okay, Aishe Ghosh.
Yeah.
So, we are very, very glad to have you
Thank
in our
you so
studio
much for having
and
me.
in Khammam.
Thank you.
So, you are from Delhi.
Yeah.
So, it's very a happy moment for us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.